Okay, I'm trying this for the second time. The first time the camera did not pick up my audio because it's a piece of shit. Also, I'm wearing the hat because my hair looks like shit and I'm too poor and lazy to get a haircut. So, sorry, give me a second here. The accent challenge. I don't really know what's challenging about it. I'm supposed to say a bunch of words. What is your name / username? My name is Chris. My username, depending on the website, is Evil Carrot or Gablefish. If it's Evil Carrot, then that's because there was an inside joke that culminated with me drawing a picture of a carrot, giant carrot with bangs chasing a bunny with the like a subtitle at the bottom that said the evil carrot. And a couple days later, when I went to go make a username for something, I was talking with my friend, what should I put as the username, and we decided that I will go with the evil carrot. Gablefish goes back to high school. We played a game called Evo. It was some game where like you start off as a fish and you went through evolution, and we all made our character. Well, we didn't make it because your character I don't believe was named, but you just we would just refer to our character as our last name and then like whatever it was. So when I started the game, every time I was Gablefish, or my friend Crocker, his last name was Crockerfish, and then like as we went through the game, we would become, you know, Gablesar or Gablebird or whatever. So that's the story behind both of the ones that I use most. Where am I from? Greater Pittsburgh area in Pennsylvania. Born in Penn Hills, lived there for a couple years, 3 years. Then I spent the next 6, 7 in Oakmont, and now I have an Apollo mailing address, but I don't actually think it's Apollo. It's close to Palm in Murraysville. It's off the side of a highway, and it is some random housing plan. So, pronounce the following words. Ant, although when I was younger I did say aunt for a while because I got that from my stepdad's accent. Roof, root, wash, oil, theater, iron, salmon, caramel. I'm going to argue with Jeff. It is spelled caramel in this instance, but I never say caramel. It's got too many syllables for my lazy ass. It's caramel. Fire, water, shore, data, ruin, crayon, New Orleans. Pecan. Yeah, I say pecan. Both natural, aluminum. The same argument for caramel. It says aluminium, but I say aluminum because I'm lazy. Aluminum. Gift, doorknob, envelope, drawing, tomato, often, dog, February, syrup, about, process, status, organization, orange. I don't know what the fuck a WWIAO is, and because it's a bunch of letters, I don't know how you pronounce that. That doesn't look like something that sounds pronounceable. Wow. There. Talk, mobile, idea, dynasty, renaissance, patronize, breakfast, drawer, horror, herbs. What is it called when you throw toilet paper on a house? TPing. What is a bubbly carbonated drink called? Despite the fact that most people around here call it pop, I tend to call it soda, or normally whatever it is. If it's just a generic soda, it tends to become Coke in my mind. Otherwise, if it's an orange soda, I say orange soda. If it's, you know, Mountain Dew, I say Mountain Dew, whatever. The big exception to that is if I leave my general area, I become sort of a prick and I just keep saying pop. I don't know why. Like when I went to New Jersey, I said pop more there than I ever have in my life. And I think it's like sort of a sarcastic thing, like, because I will say a lot more things in Pittsburghese whenever I go to somewhere that is not Pittsburgh, like uncharacteristically for me. Like, so I think it became sort of a I'm from Pittsburgh and I want a pop type thing, because why the hell not just make fun of where the fuck you came from? Where am I at here? What do you call the wheeled contraption in which you carry groceries at the supermarket? Cart. It's a cart. What's the bug when you touch it, it curls into a ball? Okay, when I was real young, when I was like 5 maybe, it was a roly-poly. When I was like 6 or 7 through 10, it became the potato bug. Then I moved and I realized that none of my friends called it the potato bug, they called it the pill bug. So I then adopted pill bug. I don't really know why potato bug is a thing. I don't think it has anything to do with potatoes at all. Potatoes certainly don't curl up into a ball, and I've never seen one living inside of a potato. In fact, I don't know. Yeah, where was I going with that? I don't know. I had a train of thought and it's gone now. What do you say when you address a group of people? Hey, or guys. What do you call the kind of spider that has an oval-shaped body and extremely long legs? Daddy long legs. Be a wizard or a vampire. That doesn't really have anything to do with accents, nor do some of the ones that follow this. Wizard-pyre. How old are you? 22. What do you call gym shoes? I tend to call all shoes shoes, unless they're boots. Then I call them boots. Unless they're sandals, and then I call them sandals. I think that shoes basically get put into those 3 categories for me. What do you call your grandparents? Grandparents. Grandma. Grandpa. If I'm talking to them. Or my grandma's my step-grandfather? My step-grandfather is Pap. Otherwise, when I'm talking about them, I'll sometimes say my grandmother, my grandfather, but usually I even say then my grandma, my grandpa. So, would you rather have $1 million or 1 million friends? I don't want that many friends, so I'll take $1 million. Can always use more money. That's too many friends. Eat a taco or a quesadilla? Yeah, taco. Be a shark or an elephant? Okay. Kim said that she would become a shark so she could kill people and eat people. I say an elephant for the exact same reason, because you can cause so much more chaos as an elephant. Because as a shark, you have to like be out in open water and you have to wait for someone to come along and then you eat them. And an elephant, you can like ravage through a city because you're fucking huge. And then you can just like go into like a small river and just like tusk somebody through the fucking gut, and you know, just throw bodies everywhere. And then when you're a shark, they have like the cages that you got to deal with, and then like an elephant could just like rip through a metal cage and just like step on them. And then you got to deal with, if you're a shark, you got to deal with being punched in the face. You know what they say, if a shark's attacking, you punch him in the nose. If I get punched in the nose, I have a fairly big nose. That's not going to feel good. If you're an elephant, you know, you throw your nose up in the fucking air and they ain't going to do shit, and then you spray them with water. Yeah. Can't punch an elephant nose. Is it cold where you are? It's becoming winter, so yeah, fairly. What's your favorite color? Let's see. Black shirt, black hat, black hoodie, black phone, black iPod, black computer, blue. What color are your eyes? I guess brown, maybe hazel, Do you have freckles? Not that I know of, I don't think. No? No? When is your birthday? June 2nd. What's the last thing you drank? You saw me. It was a carbonated drink. Do you know anyone on Tumblr in real life? Well, I only have 14 people following me, and of that I know 12. So yeah. Do you think you have an accent? I want to know if anyone thinks they have an accent. Do Australian people, are they constantly aware that they have an Australian accent, or do they say, no, we don't have an accent, you have an American accent? So I guess everyone has an accent, is what it comes down to. What is the thing you change the TV channel with? The remote control or the clicker, depending on who you are. Choose a book and read a passage from it. All I have around me right now, excuse me, is children books, because I was doing that for something else. So mostly short story books, so I will read a short story. As soon as I find one that I don't hate. I remember not hating this one, although I was little, and you grow up and you realize this is fucking stupid. Okay, sorry, checking something else. More scary stories to tell in the dark. Wonderful sausage. One dark, rainy Saturday afternoon, a fat and jolly butcher named Samuel Blunt had an argument over money with his wife, Eloise. Blunt lost his temper and killed Eloise. Blunt. Then he ground her up into sausage meat and buried her bones under a big flat rock in the backyard. To keep the murder a secret, he told everyone she had moved away. No one saw it. No one questioned it. She just moved away. Blunt mixed his new sausage meat with pork and then seasoned it with salt and pepper, added some sage, thyme, and a bit of garlic. Very detailed with that recipe. To give it special flavor, he smoked it in his smokehouse for a while. He called it Blunt's Special Sausage. There was such a demand for this new sausage that Blunt bought the best hogs he could find and started raising his own pork. He also kept a sharp lookout for humans who might make tasty sausage meat. Sick. One day, a plump school teacher came to his shop. Blunt grabbed her and ground her up. Another time, Blunt's dentist came by. He was a little round man, and into the grinder he went. Well, there goes his teeth. Then, one by one, the children in the neighborhood began to disappear. Fuck the children. And so did their kittens and puppies. Well, that's horrible. Now we're getting kittens and puppies involved. But no one ever dreamed that Blunt the butcher had anything to do with it. Things went that way for years. Then one day, Blunt made a big mistake. A fat boy came to the butcher shop. Fucking fat kids. Blunt grabbed him and started to drag him off to the sausage grinder, but the boy broke loose and ran out of the shop, and Blunt chased after him, waving a big butcher knife. Subtle. When people saw this, they realized at once what had become of all the missing grown-ups, and kittens, and children, and puppies, and an angry crowd gathered at the butcher shop. No one knows for sure just what happened to Blunt that day. Some said he was fed to his hogs, others say he was fed to his sausage grinder. I bet the people who killed him know what happened to him. Did I just say no? No? Fuck you. But he was never seen again, and neither was his wonderful sausage meat. No shit. End the audio post by saying any 3 words you want. Shit, fuck, balls.